Those brothers who are still in the back hall, please come into the main hall so we can start, inshallah. And can you just leave that entrance open so you don't put the chairs there, so if people need to leave, they can leave. Jazakallah. Jazakallah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem. Wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah, we are blessed tonight with the presence of our brother Ibn Ali Miller, and inshallah we will hear from him very shortly, but we will start this blessed evening with the recitation from the Holy Quran. And I would like to request a young man, Amin Subhani, to come up and do the recitation. Jazakallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين. لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. صدق الله العظيم.
That was Amin Subhani, mashallah, beautiful recitation of the Holy Quran. Now I'd like to invite Brother Muhammad Arif Bhatt Sahab to recite Salatul Nabi.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. هو الحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته لكل حول من الأحوال مقتحم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا. يا ربي بالمصطفى المصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا فاغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. It's very surprising that we have a lot of youngsters here tonight, and they're very quiet during the Salat upon Nabi. And you should always join in when you're sending durood and salam upon the Prophet, peace be upon him. Do not be shy to send durood and salam upon the Prophet, peace be upon him. Sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. So welcome to all of you to this inspirational and motivational talk and question and answer session by Ibn Ali Miller, Being Muslim in Maidenhead. So who is Ibn Ali Miller? He's a 29-year-old who was a construction worker who rose to fame and received widespread praise after he diffused a fight between two young people in 2017 with wise and heartfelt words, which was viewed by nearly 40 million people on YouTube. Subhanallah, mashallah. So his selfless act went viral, and in an instant, it won him the admiration and inspiration of millions of people around the world. He was born and raised in Atlantic City, New Jersey. He is a student of Imam Amin Muhammad from Masjid Muhammad. He has become a global motivational speaker and is now one of the most popular African-American Muslims of America and a role model to young people around the world. I'd like to invite the brother. Narai Takbir! Narai Takbir! Narai Risalat! Narai Hadri! Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
I've got this if you want to use this
Okay.
one, which is this we got a brand new if you want to use it.
Okay. Do I look stupid with this? You can be honest with me. I don't mind criticism. It's okay. Maybe not. All right, yeah. Bismillah.
Okay.
Would you? Is it better if I use that?
Up to you.
Oh, the sisters. Are there sisters here?
Sit upstairs.
Are they listening or no?
They're listening. They can
Listen.
listen. Don't touch that
You
one.
know,
This-
like
this-
Muslims bombs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that one will catch you.
Okay, Bismillah.
Bismillah.
So,
So that's fine. That will catch you if you.
Bismillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa min. Okay. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sallam. And so we start with praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course, for the many endowments that He endowed upon us that was not obligatory upon Him. Meaning your life, everything that you have in it, is something that Allah ta'ala has given you that He did not have to give you. So everyone say, Alhamdulillah. And then we send this complete and perfect salat and salam upon our master, upon our guide, Al-Mustafa, Al-Habib, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his al and his companions, and his Muslim nation. And we ask Allah Ta'ala to raise his rank and their rank, and to raise his status and their status, and to protect his nation, which is me and you, our loved ones, and everyone that we know, from whatever he feared for us, which is sin. To Allah Ta'ala in any way whatsoever, public, private sins that you are aware of and sins that you are not aware of. And we ask Allah Ta'ala to protect us in that on His behalf. Ameen. And then we say, وَمِنْ وَلَا, meaning that and those who love Him. And those who love Him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah, I've been many places. And where I'm from in Atlantic City, in New Jersey, we learned from two roots. Some of our teachers, they learned in Shams. And the rest of our teachers, they learned in Yemen. And so the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned, oh Allah, bless our Shams and our Yemen. And then some of the Sahaba, they asked him other questions why. We won't get into that, but I would like to say, may Allah Ta'ala bless my teachers, and may Allah Ta'ala bless my parents. Because anything that you see of me, any good that you see of me, anything that would make you want me to come here is not from what you saw on the YouTube video. It's from what my parents instilled in me and what my teachers instilled in me. They belong all the credit, they belong all of the recognition. And anyone who makes a dua for me, you don't make dua for my teachers and for my parents. Because they raised me, and even after I became, in my city, we say like, you become a grown man. You're a grown man now, right? So even after I became, quote unquote, a grown man, they kept raising me. And even when I wanted to throw away my own life, they kept saving me. They never ever let me go. They never ever left my side. Even when I fled from my parents and my teachers, they just come chasing after me. They chased me so good, they held on to me so good that now I'm here with you. So for me, I have a reason to say, Alhamdulillah. Because they didn't have to put up with my foolishness. They didn't have to put up with my ways. They didn't have to sacrifice their money. They didn't have to sacrifice their time to teach me. They didn't have to feed me or clothe me or house me. They didn't have to advise me when it was time for me to make my own decisions. They could have let me fail on my own. But instead, they said, listen, Ibn Ali, that's deep water. If you jump in deep water, you're going to need a life jacket or something like that. Something, because that's deep water. But me, while I'm young, I'm very arrogant. It's like a trait of young men. So even if I ask you, young man, are you arrogant? And you say, no, I'm not arrogant. That was an arrogant answer. Yes, you are. Don't worry about it. You're arrogant. I have arrogance too. And may Allah Ta'ala protect me from my arrogance. And even more importantly, may He protect the people that Allah Ta'ala, may protect the same people that He put in front of me from my arrogance. Ameen. May He allow me to stand here, call you to Allah, call you to the way of Rasul, and not call you to Ibn Ali. Ameen. May He make me sincere in that. Because you stand here, people listening to you, sometimes they laugh, sometimes they cry, sometimes, and your heart goes boom, boom. It blows up bigger than a microphone bomb. Right? Your heart goes psh. So may Allah Ta'ala protect me and protect you from me. Ameen. But they're saying, this water is deep. This water is deep. But I'm arrogant. I don't care. I'll jump off the deep end. Maybe 15, 16, 19, 21, 23, right? I'll dive off the deep end. And we'll say Alhamdulillah again, because as I was drowning, they still threw me a life rope. My teachers and my parents. Don't talk in my session. You talk in my session, you got two options. I kick you out or we get in a fight. Bismillah. Don't talk in anyone's session, not just mine. Don't talk in anybody's session. Two reasons. One, you may have missed a benefit just now in those two words you said. Number two is you may have caused someone else to miss a benefit. And this is no good. And that's Islamic education or secular education. It's no good. You don't ever be the reason that someone miss a benefit in the session. And you can make someone miss a benefit in the session by just saying one word. So in my session, there are some young people who came here to see me. My uncles, they don't need to listen to me. I need to listen to them. But they love you so much. They care about you so much. They want you to do so well that they bring me all the way from America to speak to you. And so because you young people are my audience, if an elder speaks, I won't kick you out, I won't fight you, mashallah. I'll be quiet while you speak. But for anyone younger here, no, you speak in my session, this is a problem. Because you may cause another young person to miss a benefit. So then my teachers and my parents, they throw this life rope to me. I'm drawing a picture. This is what we call drawing a picture. I'm setting up a framework for us to talk about and have an open conversation. Because this speech of mine, it won't be long. I'd much rather engage with you. I'd much rather get to the question and answer part quickly, because I have questions for you too. And I'd much rather speak to you about what you would like to speak to me about, and not just to talk at you. This is going to be quick. My teachers, they kept on the life rope. And just like me, just like you, your parents and your teachers, the imam, the qadi, they keep throwing you this life rope. But I'm arrogant. I'm arrogant. So I said, I don't need the life rope. I throw it back. I can swim. And then the current takes me. They throw the life rope again. I throw it back. I can swim. And then I start to go under. Now I'm kicking. Man, will someone save me? I needed that rope. My teachers and my parents, they jumped in the water to come get me. They put themselves in danger to come get me. In order to save me, they were willing to drown themselves. They could have saved me twice easily. They threw the rope. I throw the rope back because I'm arrogant. So what you see of me today is a product of the woman who bore me, who fed me from her breast, a father who had respect so that way we had respect, and teachers who loves Allah and they follow the Rasul until their last breath. And they jump in the water to save me. You young men and young women, you have people the same way that I have people who are constantly throwing you a rope. They're constantly throwing you a rope. And you keep throwing the rope back. You continuously want to be different from your parents and from your teachers. But if you don't want to be like your parents and your teachers, then who do you want to be like? This is serious. This ain't no game, bro. Who you want to be like? Stormzy? I see some smiles and some laughs. The elders, you don't know who Stormzy is, but all these young guys do. Who you want to be like? Or would you like them to jump in the current and drown for you? You want to kill your teachers and kill your parents? Well, that's what you're going to do if after they die, this community doesn't continue to thrive and flourish. You will drown their legacy. That's what you're going to do. While they're alive, they're throwing you a rope, Take the rope, man. Take the rope. Trust me, you'll be the captain of the boat soon enough. Be a sailor for now. Learn how to go through the currents. Learn what to do when the waves come. Learn what to do in the storm. It's a big ocean, bro. We got a long way to go before we get to land. The promised land. You know the promised land, right? Because we're the Muslims. We're the Muslims. We're going to the promised land. We're going, Mosh, listen, bro. The Prophet ﷺ, he promised. We're going to the promised land. But right now, we're on a rocky ocean, on a boat. And we got a long way to go before we get to land. Before we get to the promised land. You all are charged with not killing the legacy of those who have come before you. That is your job. To not kill the legacy that came before you. The same legacy that bore you. The same legacy that clothed you. The same legacy that taught you Quran and the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The same legacy who taught you how to pray. The same legacy who taught you how to marry and how to love and be in love and raise children. The same legacy. You are charged with not killing that legacy. But guess what? I know you're nothing like your father. I'm not half the man my father was either. I know you're nothing like your teachers. Trust me, I'm nothing like my teachers either. Man, my teachers, they used to teach me, I used to ask so many dumb questions, they used to sweat. Like, what is wrong with this kid, bro? Because I was hard of hearing, so they would give me something, I would say, yeah, but what's this? And they would say, listen. Then they kept saying, okay, Ibn Ali, the answer's in the question. So that was the answer they would give me. I asked a question, they say the answer's in the question. So then, alhamdulillah, then I learned to listen. Ibn Ali, what point you making, bro? Cut to the chase. That rope that they continue to throw you, that we continue to throw back, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Rasulullah. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasulullah. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Habibullah. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Taha. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Yasin. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Muddathir. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Nadhir. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Taha. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Mustafa. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Nabi'in. Khatm al-Nabi'in. Salatu wa salam alayka ya Sayyidi ya Imam al-Mursaleen. Sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. They're so scared for you to drown, they called me here to throw you the rope again. We're throwing you the rope again. Because guess what? My mom tried to throw me the rope, I throw the rope back. Teachers throw me the rope, I throw the rope back. Until one teacher, alhamdulillah, he jumps in, he holds the rope himself, he jumps in, while I'm drowning underwater, he's saying to me, because you know underwater you can't breathe. But it's clear. You know, like a movie scene where like people underwater trying to like symbol to each other? Well, take this metaphor for real life. I'm underwater and I can't understand what he's saying. I'm so far gone. And he's saying, would you like the rope now? This rope, the Prophet ﷺ, is our connection to everything good. The love of the Rasul ﷺ is our connection to everything good. The understanding of the life of the Rasul ﷺ is our connection to everything good. The love of his children, the love of his parents, the love of his beautiful daughter Fatima. Her beautiful children in which his lineage come. Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. May Allah Ta'ala be pleased with them and be pleased with us by their status. They are the rope. Al-Kisar. They are the rope and the connection to everything that is good. So, Habibi, what's your name? Muhammad Arif. So when Uncle Muhammad Arif, when he stands here and he sings the old Pakistani version, right? Because I love it, because people have different. So right now I'm black in America, so we had hip hop. So some versions of some qasida and some durood, they don't fit my people because you know we can't feel it because you know we're different people. That's okay. So we're trying to find our way to do this thing to make it culturally relevant for my people, mashallah. But this version, this cultural version, right? It has to be the longest standing one because when we learned it in my house, that's how we learned it. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الكون كلهم مولاي صل. Louder. This is the Prophet of God. This is the one who Allah loves. Louder. Muhammad. No. MashaAllah. I can't get that part. Maybe I do like Molayya Salih Wa Salim Daiman. You got me. Ala Muhammad. Get me. Ya Habibi. Boom. I got you. I know what you want. So here's the thing about the rope. There's two sides to it. The person throwing you the rope, they're holding on the other side of the rope themselves. They're deciding to be an anchor for you on the other side. You know what an anchor is? It's the weight that allows you to hold onto the rope, gives the rope stability for you to come up the rope to get back on the boat. They're the anchor on the other side of the rope. This rope doesn't just go one way or two ways. You have a side, they have a side. So guess what they need? They need us to be an anchor for them on the rope as well. We are their sons. We are their sons. We are their nephews. We are their grandsons. We are their little cousins. And young man, you have to be an anchor for them. They have carried you this far for your entire lives. Will you now be an anchor for them as they get older and as they get gray, as they get weak? As they reach the point in their lives where all they want to do is durood. Will you then be an anchor for them? Because the rope is two ways, bro. So, okay, I got you. You've been hearing it since a kid. I got you. Bismillah. So maybe come to the elder and say, hey, can maybe sometimes we do Wasalim Daiman, right? Ala Muhammad. Other kids go. Yeah, Habibi, Habibi. I see you smiling. Don't worry. You don't got to be shy. You don't got to be shy. These men here, they love you. These women here, they love you. They want well for you. They want good for you. You don't have to be shy. Be honest about who you are. Be honest about your English experience. Be honest about it. Be honest about what you see. Be honest about how the world is changing around you. Be honest about it. Be honest that, hey, listen, Uncle, Baba, Abu, listen, my side of the rope, because I'm in the water, remember, your side of the rope is dry because you're out of the water, you're the anchor. So it's pretty easy to hold on to. My rope is really slippery because it's wet. And I'm having trouble holding on to the rope. I want to, but it's slippery. Be honest about it. Do you think your father wasn't a young man before? Or you think, do you think your grandfather wasn't a young man before? Like all of you young boys, how many young men you want to get married? Raise your hand. You think your father didn't want to get married before? And then he got married. That's how you got here. Bismillah. They know what you're going through in all these aspects of life. Not just the quote-unquote religious parts of your life, the quote-unquote public parts of your life, or the quote-unquote parts of your life that will bring status to the family or a good family name. No. They know you. They know you. And so I'm asking all of you, please, young people, stop hiding who you are. Stop hiding who you are. Because you are Muslims. And the job of the believer is to hold firm to the rope. What is the rope? The Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And we're on the boat to the promised land, Jannah, where one will get the chance to see Allah. Would you not like to be on this boat? Is there any other cruise ship that you would like to sail? Is there any other island or lands that you would like to see? Because as a Muslim, you are on a one-way trip to Jannah. And you have to travel a troubling life, full of fitna, full of discomfort, full of disagreements, full of fights, full of poverty, full of hunger. But this rope is the connection to everything good. It'll bring about goodness in poverty. Goodness in the fitna becomes ni'mah. Goodness in the hunger. It'll bring about goodness in being scared and having fear. And like we started this conversation, that rope is the only thing that will crush your arrogance before your arrogance crushes you. And may Allah Ta'ala protect you from your arrogance and protect me from your arrogance. May Allah Ta'ala protect me from my arrogance and protect you from my arrogance. May Allah Ta'ala bless our parents on the status of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and bless our teachers and their teachers and their teachers and their teachers back to Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We ask you, Rabbal Alameen, to please you, Rabbal Alameen. Bless all of you and your parents and their parents and their parents and the parents who are no longer here. You know, young man, when I speak to you about your father, you know who your father thinks about? His father. You didn't know that, did you? When I speak to you about your father ain't thinking about you, son. He's still a son himself. He's thinking about his father, who may no longer be here anymore, rahimahullah. He's thinking about his mother, who may no longer be here anymore, rahimahullah. And he's reflecting on what they taught him. And even though you see a gray beard in the inside, he's a little boy when he's thinking of his father. You may think you're a big boy now, but one day's gonna come, you're gonna have a big, long gray beard. And your father may not be here. And we may be saying, rahimahullah. And trust me, at that time, you're gonna really feel like a little boy again. Take his help now while you have it. Take the help of your mother while you have it. And more importantly than anything, if you are a real friends, I don't know how well friends you are. I don't know if you have some other friends that don't come to the masjid because of some other things they may do outside. I don't know. But if you are friends, and if you have friends that are really your friends, then model your relationship after the Sahaba. If you are not friends like that, then you are not friends at all. Quick example. I'm going to do something haram. The Sahaba, they would never let one of their companions do something haram. Why would you let your boy do something haram? Is he not your companion? Is he not your companion? Do you not love him? Is his soul not worth the warning? Is he not worth being reminded? Is he not worth the rope? Is he not worth you jumping in the water after him? And if you don't have friends like this, then you're better off being alone. And young man, in the world that we live in today, you may find yourselves oftentimes alone. Do know that you are never alone because Allah is always with you. And if you have this love of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you have everything. May Allah Ta'ala keep us connected to the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah Ta'ala make us of those who never disconnect from him. And may Allah Ta'ala make us of those whom, when the angel sent our salams, he sent his salams back to us tenfold, not just to us, as well as to our fathers. Ameen. Ameen. So one more time, bismillah, before we're done. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الكون كله مولاي صل وسلم دائما louder حبيبك خير الكون كله. Okay, young people, switch it up. You ready? You're going to be loud with me, bro? Because you're going to make it like you got it. Ready? Moulaya Salih. Louder. Wa Salim Daiman. Yeah, you got me. Go. I'm following you, though. All right, but I only know a couple words of the song, so you got me. All right. Mawlaya salli. Wa sallim da'iman. Ala Muhammad. Ya Habibi, Habibi. Yeah, okay, mashallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sallam. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alayna innaka antas tawwabur rahim. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Farj ala muslimin. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala mursalin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Thank you so much. If I said anything here today that you've benefited from, it truly came from the divine source who's Allah, with the love of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If I said anything incorrect, it is not a reflection of my parents or my teachers, but a reflection of my own bad soul. And I ask that you make dua for me, my parents, and my teachers behind my back, and I will do the same for you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What we'll do is, if any of the brothers have any questions, they can raise their hands, and we'll take the questions one by one. And can I start with the first question?
Bismillah.
My question to the Sheikh is that today we have an issue in our schools. Our children are disrespectful to their teachers, and they have a bad attitude towards their non-Muslim friends or non-Muslim pupils who are in the school. So how do we tackle this issue? Because this is a quite becoming a bigger issue as the Muslim population and the Asian population within our schools is growing. This problem is growing with it. Our youngsters seem to think that they are at school to have some fun and be with their friends and have a laugh and push people around and disrespect the teachers. So I want to hear from the Sheikh, and obviously the youngsters are here today. I mean, hopefully they will get the message because this is a serious problem in our schools. And obviously we want to help you guys. If you got issues, got problems, and we're here to help you as well. And I'd just like to hear what advice the Sheikh can give us regarding this.
Bismillah. So first, so I'm not a sheikh. Alhamdulillah, I'm not a sheikh. And I was studying, and then my studies got interrupted because I was in a viral video, and now I'm here in front of you. And so next month, inshallah, make dua for me. We finally regrouped ourselves, me and my family, that I'm going to study full time, inshallah, for as ever long it takes for me to do this for the rest of my life. So please make dua for me, inshallah, for my studies and for the studies of my wives and my children. Ameen. So the answer to this question in particular, if I was speaking to a group of black people, I would answer it one way. Speaking to a group of white people, I would answer it another way. Right? And I know you're probably wondering, but I'm speaking to a group of Asians. And Asians in particular, are you mostly Pakistani? So not just Asians, because Asians have Chinese, Indian. So I'm speaking to a group of Pakistanis in particular. So the answer to this question is a particular answer to you in particular. And Sheikh Hamza Yusuf, he's from America, and he said something bad about black people one time, right? And it was a mistake, and alhamdulillah, may Allah Ta'ala forgive the Sheikh. And even you see in the time of the Sahaba, even after they became Muslims, some of their racist ways, they didn't all leave. It took time for them to leave, right? So with Sheikh Hamza, mashallah, may Allah Ta'ala forgive him for the incorrect statement that he made. And also may he allow people not to forget that he's a sheikh in Islam. But so I talked to him, and I, you know, of course he's sheikh first, but then I'm a black guy, so I gotta say, hey sheikh, listen, what you said, kind of off the wall, right? So after that, I won't tell you what happened in that conversation, but in the conversation, he told me to read a book. The book was titled Triple Threat by Amy Shua. And this book, The Triple Threat, when you read it, it explains how, he was speaking about black people in particular, and he was saying it's very amazing that blacks in America have been able to accomplish what they have been able to accomplish, even after they're coming to America, and that oppression is the longest standing oppression in America, right? So the book, the way it's written is that it goes through immigration. And it goes through that, it uses America, but you can use England as well. Every group of people who immigrate, there are certain traits that the first generation will follow, certain traits the second generation will have, certain traits the third generation will have. And so this disrespect that you have for your teachers, this is not from the first generation or the second generation, maybe not even the third, maybe the fourth or the fifth. But around the third generation is when you start to see it. He said that when we first come, a community of immigrants, they come, when they first get to the new land, they work harder than everyone. In school, in business, they'll do the jobs for almost free. They will outwork everyone. So in our country now, you have like, Mexicans are like the newest group of people to fluctuate America. And they outwork everyone for free. But they're brand new. So they're trying to find their place in the world. So whoever was the first generation of your family, they came here they had education. They didn't have Western secular education. So they worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. Then they bought houses next door to each other to form the community. The uncle saved the money up, got the masjid, mashallah. Then they got this nice chandelier for you, right? That's what they did. This is first generation, early second generation stuff, right? And then the second generation comes along, and in that generation, they make sure that you are educated. You're gonna have some doctors, right? You have some accountants. You got some doctors in your community? I'm sure you do, of course. You have to, right? Farda Kifaya, and we need money. So, right? My boy's gonna be a doctor. This is the habit of immigrant communities. Second generation. Second generation is the educated generation. Because everyone's parents work, and they say, listen, you're gonna go to education, because things are gonna be easier for you. You won't work as hard as I did. But we're seeing that through time, this idea of things will be easier for you are making the men softer. So then you have third generation. And the third generation, my dad's a doctor. I don't get to see him work hard every day, sweat every day, same clothes. He has a doctor, he drives an A-class Mercedes, right? He comes up to the masjid. We're raising money, the imam, my dad's raising his hand. I'll put the money down for the masjid, right? Like, you know what's up. We call him Mr. Big Hand. Who's Mr. Big? Mr. Big Hand is the one I'll put my hand up for the big number, right? It's Mr. Big Hand. So every community has a Mr. Big Hand. It's okay. Every community needs a Mr. Big Hand. But I'll tell you what happens. His kid, he may not have as much appreciation for his father as his father had for his father. The one who came with no Western secular education and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and paid for his education in order for him to become Mr. Big Hand. So now his kid becomes disconnected from the hard work. Well, you know what happens when you become disconnected from hard work. It's like throwing the rope back. You lose your vehicle to success. And so now you see in the third generation, you want to be like Englishmen. You want to act like the white boys. Yeah, I got you. It's okay. Don't worry. Right? You don't want to dress like your father anymore. Right? You want to dress like the Europeans. I got you. It's okay. Right? You don't want to have big beard anymore. You want to... I'm not saying you. I'm just saying like... Right? Right? But you don't want the beard anymore because they're going to know I'm Muslim. Right? Your name's not Muhammad anymore. Now your name is Mo. Fatima becomes Faye. You got where I'm going with this. Everyone knows what I'm talking about clearly. So I was reading this book and I was like, wow, this is really deep. So when I hear his question, I'm thinking about that book. The children he's speaking of are third generation, fourth generation, maybe fifth or sixth. But you are most certainly not the first and second generation. Because the first generation and the second generation, they came to countries like this and they did what they had to do and they built masjids with chandeliers in it. That's what they did. What are you doing? I know what you're doing. It said it in the book. It says, and then what happens is that group of immigrants, then they begin to average out. You begin to average out. You begin to become regular. You've adopted their styles. You grew up here. I get it. You were born here. So it's not all your fault. I'm not just saying that you don't, right? You don't have much connection to Pakistan. You don't go there much. You don't go there much. And once Nana and Baba dies, we don't go there anymore. Why would I go? Right? My grandparents are dead, so why would I go? So there's a collective of both. I just want to paint a whole picture here. The way that many young people act is going to lead to a bad you have GPA? What do you do grade point average? Like, huh? What's the name of it? GCSEs. Your GCSEs. Bad disrespect will give you bad marks. Bad marks going to give you bad GCSEs. That's going to mean no college, no uni. That means that now you're going backwards in the generations. Because if you don't go to university, now you have to work hard like the first member of your family did when he came here in order for you to survive. And guess what? Times are harder now. You may not be as successful. So, bro, if you want to be average. It's on you. But do know and do understand that from this disrespect and from accepting to be average, you may be responsible for killing the legacy. So don't let your disrespect make you a murderer, inshallah. Bismillah. Another question. Come on. We're friends here. Bismillah. Young man, ask your question. You got a question. I know you do. I was watching you the whole time. And there's a few other people I've been watching too. So, Bismillah. We'll give you a break. 20 seconds. I'm coming to you, inshallah. Bismillah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Question is, brother, how do we raise confident young men and young women in their society that don't compromise their religion and also their culture?
So that question is double-sided. So his question was, how do we raise confident young men in today's society to be confident in their religion and in their culture? Men and women. Let me answer the question first. I may not have the answer for women. I may not have, and I'm raising daughters, and they're sweet. You know, like the girls are different, man. Like the boys are a problem, you know. Like so alhamdulillah. The girls, it's easier for women to stay close to that fitrah. I was with Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad before we came here earlier, and we were having a similar conversation. He was explaining how a woman, mind, body, and soul, they're just more fitri than men are. And it's easier, as long as they're kept, if the men around them keep them in a good situation, a good position, don't allow them to go out too much. We're not misogynists. We don't want to just keep you away from life, but, you know, we're going to keep you away from the bad things and protect you, make sure she doesn't have to work and things like that. She'll be able to stay close to her fitrah. So I think the thing how you have confident women is to have confident men. You have a confident father, confident brother, confident grandfather, confident husband, you'll be a confident sister, right? But about the men though, is so culturally, I'll answer that first. Because culture and religion, they have nothing to do with each other, right? Because I say la ilaha illallah, you say la ilaha illallah. Our cultures are completely different. So culture doesn't make you Muslim, right? So the first thing you have to do as a culture is to really learn the religion, right? Like everyone here practices Hanafi fiqh? Hanafi, right? Everyone's right? Bismillah. But if I went around, I'm not Hanafi by the way, I'll be practicing Shafi'i fiqh, but it's okay, alhamdulillah. The point I'm making though is, but if I went around to ask you questions concerning Hanafi fiqh, many people in the audience will not be able to give me an answer. Because we make wudu this way because culturally that's how we do it. We pray this way, we fast this way because culturally that's how we've always done it. So culturally, knowledge of the religion has become more important than the culture. And then on the flip side is you have to keep people connected to the culture by the good things like storytelling. And like young people, raise your hand. Has anyone ever told you like an old story about the homeland? Like in this kind of a voice? Right? Like, like Pakistan, right? Like, you know, to make you think about it and when I was a child, like that, right? Like you have to connect with them where they are now. They don't know Pakistan, bro. They don't know nothing about Pakistan. They don't feel Pakistani. I mean, they love biryani, but they don't, other than the food and their house, they don't feel Pakistani. They're English. They're from Britain, right? So you have to spend some time with them and talk with them and show them old pictures and say, listen, this is Baba. Hey, listen, this is me as a boy. This is where I grew up. You think your son, he's going to love to see a picture of you. He's going to say, man, I look like this guy. Wow. He'll say, man, you are handsome before the beard, right? Right? You have to help him connect. So that's culturally. Make learning the religion more important than the culture And then never let go of your culture and find ways to connect with them. Tell them about the good news and the good days and the hot summers and, you know, those 21-hour Ramadans. Because Pakistan is rough, man. It's like you're fasting all day. So let them know, like in England, you got this short, the fast is this long. So, you know, maybe Ramadan, you talk and say, listen, in the old days at home, man, we fast 20 hours every day. But while they're hurting and they're hungry, they'll say, man, subhanAllah, who's my father? He used to fast for 20 hours. Here, I only fast for 10. So find these ways. So that's how to build the confidence culturally. Separating religion and culture, right? Putting the religion above culture, right? So this way they can understand, I'm Muslim, and as a Pakistani, right, I have something to add to the world through my culture. But if the culture and religion is meshed into one and they can't tell which is which, then when they lose confidence in one, they're going to lose confidence in the other. So they lose confidence in their culture, it makes them lose confidence in Islam. Or lose confidence in Islam, it makes them lose confidence in being Pakistani. Right? So you have to separate. Bomb! Right? So you have to separate this for them. And about religion, there's like this aspect of fatwa, chivalry. Right? Chivalry. Prophet ﷺ, he used to do they used to do like kabri, or like now we just do BJJ, but they didn't do necessarily Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, but it's what we use now. Bismillah. Bomb. No. Right? So and then these for young men, depending on the age, I'm learning in myself, these prophetic sports will save young men. Getting them into archery. Because in order for me to hit a bullseye, you know how much concentration that takes? My first 100 times I'm gonna miss it. But as a young man, the first time Allahu Akbar, and I get the bullseye, oh man, my life is changing. But from the archery and trying to hit the bullseye, it helps me focus. It helps me not to lose focus and be distracted easily. Right? Horseback riding. As much as you can. As much as you can. Right? Because when I'm like this, me and the horse, we don't speak the same language. So if you ever see like Urchagu, he just says, he kicks it, he does the thing with the but he doesn't say horse run fast, horse stop. You'll help a young man learn how to handle things out of their control. You'll help them harness the horse. But in life, that's a rocky ride. And as a man, you need to be able to hold on no matter how fast the horse is going, no matter how high it jumps. So again, the Prophet ﷺ and the knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ, not a real knowledge. So we can go Qala Rasulullah and go Kutub Sittah. But you have to bring life to the books. You have to bring life to the life of the Prophet ﷺ. So like in my community, because there's so much violence and different things like that, we connected to the war stories. Like, man, like the Battle of Badr, bro, right? Like, it's 300 of me, right? I'm with the Muslims. I'm with the Muslims, right? Imagine this. It's 300 of me, Muslims, and it's 1,000 kuffar, right? You got me? So for every 3 of us, there's 10 of you, right? So that means each Muslim is fighting 3.5 men on his own. So me against you 3. No. If all of you stood up against me right now, I would not fear you. And I would fight you with no problem. Not because I'm not afraid, it's because I'm a Muslim and I come from a tradition of people who fought in the Battle of Badr. See, I was getting ready to fight. I'm throwing the mic down, right? I'm getting hype, right? Right? But I know that's who I am now. And on the flip side of that, I'm also going to be mercy with you. I'm not going to push you to fight me. I'm not going to say bad words to you to fight me. I'm not going to do anything to offend you. I don't want to offend you. The Prophet ﷺ, he didn't want to offend anyone. All of the kuffar that he fought, he only fought them because they wouldn't say La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So I don't want to fight you. But if you stood up to fight me, my people fought on the battle of Badr, I'll fight you too. But our teachers, they brung these stories alive for us. And they showed us first, like, you can be a warrior, be a warrior. And we're all in the majlis like, ah! Because young men talking about swords and fighting and battle and everyone's ready to go, ayat Allah, right? And then on the flip side, they showed us the responsibility of strength. And the responsibility of strength, and this is what all young people have, you just don't know that you have it, which is why you're misusing it. The responsibility of strength is to use it to further Islam, or to use it to protect Islam from anyone who wants to kill our religion. But you're only going to arrive at this kind of thinking if the life of the Prophet ﷺ becomes alive to you. His life has to become alive. You can't just read the hadith and say, oh yeah, that was nice. He ate with his right hand, and mashallah, and he had a hair that was kind of long, but not really long. And when he walked, it's like he's walking down a hill, and blah, 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 blah. That's how these kids feel. Blah, 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 blah. And so we have to work very hard, not just you, even myself, all of us collectively across the world. We have to work hard to bring the life of the Prophet ﷺ, to bring it alive for these young people, so that way they can connect their lives to it. Because one thing with young people that I notice, young people are honest. They won't, if they're not feeling it, they say, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, man. And that's not on them, that's on us, inshallah. So those two things, inshallah. All right, your turn. You thought I forgot about you. No. Yeah, Bismillah. Yeah. The answer's in the question. You like that? I've always wanted to try it on somebody else, because So his question was, he's saying that a lot of Muslim boys, you talk in my session, you answered the phone, we gotta fight, bro. No. This ain't the Battle of Badr. This is England. Up here we got no. Mashallah. So his question was that the Muslim boys is that a lot of them now is that they're getting adopted to gang life, and they're forced to carry big knives and different things. How? Wait. Hey, wait. 1 second. 1 second. Respect. 1 second. Everyone, pay attention to this. This is nice. How old are you? How old are you? 33. So okay. So now he's in my generation. He's the next generation. The 18-year-old kid is saying they're forced to carry knives. The 33-year-old kid, because you're still a kid to them, but not to him. You're an elder to him by 14, 15 years. The 33-year-old young man is saying that's not true. So everyone listen. Let's go. What do you like to say?
It's not true, because it's the path you choose, isn't it?
MashaAllah.
It's not like, no one's going to force you to carry a knife. You make that choice yourself. Do you understand? Everyone has their own choice. So it's like you're going down the road, you can go left or right. Left, you know what's going on down there. You know what everyone's sitting down.
MashaAllah.
Everyone's going to a mosque. But you're going to make that choice yourself.
MashaAllah.
And then like, you're going to be with your boys. One of them say, let's go that way. And you might go. You understand? No one's forcing you, brother. It's all on your own.
It's all on your own.
It's your own choice.
MashaAllah. Can I ask you a question? Huh? Peer pressure. And it gets you like this. Peer pressure. That's how it happens. Wait. I'm going to answer your question next. We're going to come to you. But this discussion, I just got to finish this real quick, right? Because we.
In relation to that,
No, you're coming next. I just wanted to get this point real quick. I got you, right? Why? Because the young man here, you're the most important person in this conversation. You're younger than all of us. So more importantly than them understanding, I want you to understand. You got me? So he's saying, you didn't got to carry no knife. You're choosing to do that. I'm going to ask him a question, though. Have you ever made a bad decision when you were 18? All right, cool. Stop there, right? Have you ever made a bad decision when you were 18? Did you always know it was bad? Because you're 18. Right? So, about 20.
You're 18 to 20 years old, you know what you're doing when it's bad. You know what's right and what's wrong.
What about 16 to 18? What about 16 to 18?
If you've had elder brothers who have lived a law-abiding life, like majority of the brothers in here,
Yeah.
like if you've got older brothers like I have, my brothers are law-abiding citizens, but I wasn't in my life.
MashaAllah.
So like, it wasn't their fault. Like they didn't show me to go and do something bad. It was I chose.
You chose to. But the point I'm making is this, though.
They would try to save me.
MashaAllah. They throw you the rope.
But they'll give me the rope.
They throw you the rope.
Just that the arrogance was there. I'll throw the rope.
MashaAllah.
You understand?
In the instance of sincerity, because hey, you got to speak again. I want to ask you a question. And the instance of sincerity, when he's saying, and let me know if I'm wrong, when he's saying they feel forced to carry knives, right? What he's saying is we live in a time, it's not like your time. Everybody's got a knife.
Nah, man. We live this street life for 10 years, man. There's no knife. Everyone carries a knife.
MashaAllah. Okay. Wait. I got you. But so the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned, hey, everybody, what I need you to pay attention to is a generational disagreement.
But we live in this community, and how many times has someone been stabbed in this community? Not many. Not many.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. MashaAllah.
Not many.
I got you. 1 second. I got you. Go.
I understand where the younger brother's coming from, because obviously it's a big generation gap, yeah?
So and honestly, as well as you think you know them, you don't know them that well. Go.
Kind of semi, yeah, but obviously at the same time, like, yeah, I can see where he's coming from. Alhamdulillah, he's come from a different town, and in his town, there's a lot of knife crime. There's been a couple of bodies there's been a couple of murders in the past couple of months. That's why.
So what he's saying is valid.
He's right.
Irregardless of what he's saying is valid. But so now you're speaking about this community in particular. Go.
Yes, yeah. This is what it was. In this community right here, alhamdulillah, from what I feel, the brothers, alhamdulillah, yeah, the older generation, they done their bit. They done their bit from what you was talking about.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Yes.
They never showed no violence. From what they said, if they stopped us, they'd give us good nasiha.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Did you always accept it?
Pardon me?
Did you always accept the good nasiha?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Go.
I'd accept it. I'd maybe accept it, but 5 minutes later, I've got major.
Yeah. Because you're a young man. Go.
Yeah. But the point I'm trying to get to is, in their generation, yes, knife crime is a very, very big thing. Yeah, they might have to carry it because his boys may be in beef, or he might walk around an estate which is he's not welcoming. Does that make sense? Or he might be a major beef.
It makes much sense.
But people need to understand their generation as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My generation and his brother's generation here. Does that make sense?
MashaAllah. Do you agree, and I'm going to come to you next, do you agree, right, that your generation was worse than the generation that came before you? You agree with that? Period. It's clear as day. Wait. So I'm finished. I'm asking the questions, right? So your generation was far worse than the one before you. What makes you think this generation here is not far worse than you? Bro, so the thing is, you got me? And so the thing is, when the young man, when he asks us a question like that, we don't say, yo, it's not like that. We try to understand. Because there are things that you don't know about him because he does not talk to us. And the reason that he won't talk to us is because when he says something, we jump on him like that. You got me? And you're not going to know that until one of his friends end up dead. And he says, I got to carry a knife. Because England is changing, bro. Because in about like transitional generations of gangsters, nah, bro, I know about this. We come from gangsters, bro. We come from gangsters, bro. Like not the TV rap stuff. No, I come from gangsters, bro. Muslims who pray and get up with their gun. Gangsters, bro. Straight up. So now this part, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you now, mashallah. You got me? Right? They had sense before us. By the time I come of age, my friends killing each other for no reason. Just because it's a gun around, you pick the gun up and go bang. For what reason though? I don't know. Why'd you kill him? I don't know. But that's something the Prophet ﷺ, he said, which means there's a sign of the end of times when men will kill and I know what they're killing for, and men will be killed and I know what they're killed for. No, we're in the time. So this young man, he doesn't know why it's happening. He's just saying, yo, we're forced to carry knives. Why? I don't know. The community's good. The brothers here are good. He said the brothers did that bit. Right? Go ahead. Who's forcing them? This is the point. The point that I'm making is this. Because you're not scared and because you came through your time in the street and you made it out alive, right? That was you in particular. And so now you're charged to help them understand the life that they're living now, to help them get out of it successfully and alive. The point that I'm making is this. He's asking a question because he doesn't have the answer. For any of you, if a young man asks you a question, you never tell him his question is wrong.
No questions too. Well done for asking.
He's trying to find an answer to a solution that's obviously him and his friends. Nah, the reality is different than you, bro. They got knives, and you don't even know about it. This is what it is. And you wanted to say something about this.
Yeah, I want to, before I get to my next question, just in reference to that, because I think first of all it starts off with ideology. So I work in prison, I'm mentoring,
Alhamdulillah.
I work with young boys in
Juvenile prison?
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
So I work in Togo, I work with 13 to 18-year-olds. We work with about 15 boys that are in there at the moment.
I was in jail around that time, between 13 and 17. So we want to thank you very much for not giving up on those young inmates. Because those young inmates, they may be people who grow to take Islam around the world. I mean, go.
So what I kind of wanted to say is when we're talking about, and I'm not talking about this particular community, because I'm not from this town either, but what I would like to say is the history of a young person we don't know. And the common patterns that I'm seeing is when, regardless to the background, whether it's black, white, Asian, with stability, they might not have a mother or father like
When you say estates, you mean like the council houses? Like, okay, go.
So I'm just talking generally because a lot of them, majority of them are from inner city London.
Yeah.
Slightly different. So what I would say is a lot of it, even here, it starts off as a replica. So for example, you even look back at guys in London, they might have looked back at the Bloods and Crips and as an ideology, that's how they grew with it. But then just through the ideology, it's kind of, if you look down into the last 20 years, slowly become a reality now.
That internet killed this, man. Because how do you even know about Bloods and Crips? Like, man, the media is doing a number on us. You know, like rappers and entertainers, they're imposters. They are, anybody you see on TV committing crime is a fake. He's a lie. Real criminals don't go on camera. They can't because then they're going to go to jail. So the same person you're following is a lie. He's an imposter. Go.
Yes, as I was saying, sorry, yes, so there is a pattern of behavior and everything starts off with the ideology. So it might be that someone has been killed, but it could be once that one person is killed, then it's a problem.
Yeah. MashaAllah.
Inshallah, that's not the case. But a lot of these young people, they need support. And where I'm seeing for myself, I went to prison for a short period of time, at the age of 22, 23, and that's when I reflected on certain things. So I thought, hold on, I've got a mum, I've got a dad. There's certain things that I do have in my life.
Camera's catching up here, sir. Oh, bismillah, sorry.
But I really need to go through that experience and really value what I do have. And for a lot of young people that are 14, 17, the sadness is they are, they get involved in situations where they've actually taken a life. And the sad thing is I said, I got to know what my potential is because you really think that I wanted to be a youth worker when I was 16. Well, I didn't. Of course, I'd want to have nice clothes or a nice car.
Yeah. Same, bro. Yeah, same.
So what it was is it took me until my lifespan of me reaching 24 for me to see certain things. So we're there, and I'm saying, look, you're lucky that you might have 15 years, but you could have been there, or you could have been living
Takbir. 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 And before you ask your question, I just want to make a point, is that when we were growing up, after the first person got killed, then we knew it was a reality that I could die. And when I learned that that was a reality that I could die, I'm going to protect myself from death. So everyone's carrying guns. But they're only carrying guns because someone died. If someone never died, we would never carry guns, because why are we going to carry a gun? Until somebody died. And I have some friends who have like PTSD now. We will be standing like in the neighborhood, on the corner, on the blocks, right? And then someone comes, they shooting, bang, 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 bang. Nobody gets shot. But I got some friends now that are so scared that even if they hear a loud noise or something, they'll jump on the ground. It reminds me of the time we were teenagers, someone trying to kill us. So this fear that you're speaking of is very real. And so a young person, they know of a friend or a friend's friend or a friend's friend's friend who got stabbed with a knife. He's thinking, whoa, somebody has stabbed me. You know, and that's how weaponry spreads. Now, what's your question?
My second question was, where I've come across some young people, and this isn't generic to any background. So just as a general, like even today, I was speaking to one young boy in particular, and he started an open discussion, and then we started speaking, we went along the lines of religion, and then he started saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I was going to the mosque, but when I go there, I feel like I'm getting judged by some of the elders. I don't really feel." And the only thing I can say is, like I said, I've got a little knowledge.
Yeah.
So I can say, you know, whatever you do, you've still got people weighing those beliefs, so whether it's different, but
Many young people feel like the elders judge them. Most young people feel like the elders judge them. There's a part of that that's good and a part of that that's bad. Because you need chastisement from your elders. You need someone telling you, hey, that's wrong, that's wrong. Because if not, you'll go crazy. But then there's another piece of it that can become blameworthy, and it can push young people away forever.
so I've had some boys that they probably don't even go to the mosque, they don't pray. And obviously, like I said, I'm still learning, so there's certain things that I can't put to them.
Yeah.
I can only speak about my experiences, because it's the only thing I can
Yeah.
speak about. So yeah, just for them, what kind of advice to give, or just generally to young people who are in that predicament or feel like that?
Two things. One is, don't tell anybody about Islam. You got me? Like in your dawah, as you're moving forward, this is for everybody. Don't tell anybody about Islam, right? The Islam is the Sharia. It's a group of rules, right, that come with certain punishments, that come with, right? Tell people about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Invite people to him. You invite people to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then you'll be giving them Islam in its truest form and the best way that it was ever practiced. In a way that they'll be able to connect to the beauty of it and to the realness of the struggle of it. If you just say Islam, it's going to seem impossible. Especially in these times. Impossible. So that's first and foremost. Don't try to bring people to religion. Bring people to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then the next thing is you got to learn, bro. And I don't know how your life is. I don't know how much time you have. I don't know if you have wife, kids. You obviously have work because you're working with the young men. I don't know how your life is constructed. But because because I'm in the position I'm in, now I have to go learn. Allah chose this for me. I didn't try to make a YouTube video. Allah chose that for you. You didn't try to go to prison and then come home and care. Allah chose this for you. Right? So now that he's choosing this for you, is that the way to have gratitude to him is to go learn and teach them about the truth. But you have a connection to them that no one here is going to have, not even me. You're with them in the point of their lives where they're trying to change. And because you're with them at that time, you have to catch them at that point. Because once they release, bro, if they didn't get it behind the wall, we say behind the wall. Or maybe how you say it in the cell. But if they didn't get it in the cell, bro, they're going to get back out here and go crazy. So for some people, jail is like the cave of Hira. That's how it is for my people at home. You finally have some time to sit and learn, to feel, to watch your heart. Do durood in peace. That jail cell becomes like, man, subhanallah. You open up a book, you can go anywhere you want in that jail cell. You can take your heart anywhere you want in that jail cell because you don't have these outside distractions. So the fitna can be a ni'mah. But if we don't catch them while they're there, then we're not gonna catch them at all. So now advice part. One is you just keep telling them, like my mom used to always tell me, think about the best thing that can happen and the worst thing that can happen before you do anything. She never told me like do this or do that, or respond like this or respond like that, or react like this or react like that. She said, listen to me, Ibn. Think about the best thing that can happen and the worst thing that can happen, right? So if this guy wants to fight me, my mom didn't say run or fight. Think about the best thing that can happen or the worst thing that can happen, right? If I'm going to go do some haram thing, think about the best thing that can happen or the worst thing that can happen. And usually when she told it to me so much is that before I do things, I start thinking, what's the best thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen, right? Before I do it. And that saved my life, that way of thinking. So the main thing with them is give them the tools they need to make their own decisions. Don't try to make decisions for them and tell them this is how you think. Nah, it's something simple. Yo, bro, before you do something, think about the best thing that can happen and the worst thing that can happen. Say it to them so much that they actually start to think about it before they do it. And then after that, you got to connect with some religious people. You got to find a young imam somewhere or a young hafiz somewhere, or it may not be the older people in the masjid, but there's a young man in every masjid. There's some young man in every masjid because he's the one keeping the masjid going. He's the hope of the future. There's a young man, even in this masjid. I don't know who you are, but there's a young man around here somewhere, and they're counting on him to take it to the future. You got to link up with that person in the different locales. Before someone comes home, like, yo, where you live? I live in London. What London? East London. What part of East London? Barking. Okay, Barking Mosque by the Asda, right? You have to be with that imam. Hey, listen, I got a kid coming home from jail. Before he comes home, blah, blah, blah. Can I give him your number? Can he come see you at the masjid? Right? You got Hounslow and this place and that place. Right? Hey, listen, imam, I got a kid coming home. He lives in Hounslow. When he comes home, can you take him under your wing? Can he come to the masjid? Same thing in Dagenham. Same thing in Luton. Same thing in Leicester. Same thing in, you got my point. So first and foremost, I would say you learn because you can touch them. Second thing, help them with decision making and how to think. Don't tell them what to think. Teach them how to think. Don't tell anybody about religion, but tell them about the Prophet ﷺ. And then the fourth thing is connect with the other people in the masajid that can help, so you can start sending them home to someone. Send them to someone, inshallah. And you had a question? MashaAllah, you look so young. Habibi. Well, what are you drinking? Share with us. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Is your big brother, little brother?
29 years in something like that now.
And listen, you ever have to give him headlock? No, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. MashaAllah. You really drinking from a fountain, bro.
But what my observation is, the first generation of Pakistani that come to this country, decent people.
And where are you from? Jamaica?
They're cultural problems. No, we're from here.
No, I mean like family.
From the Caribbean.
Caribbean, okay. And were you born here or you came?
Born here.
You're born, and did your mom, she came here or she was born here?
No, she came.
She came, so you're a second generation.
Yeah.
All right, so this is second generation Caribbean English man. Go.
So we see a lot of changes generally in society.
Yes.
Do you think you're going to find all the Pakistani men walking about with knife? Talking
No.
about their own rule?
No.
To me, this is a fallacy.
Yeah.
When I see these young Pakistanis being rejected, this seems annoying because you're not doing that. Our background was something different.
Absolutely.
A lot of people come from the Caribbean, that Windrush generation.
Absolutely.
We were totally disenfranchised.
Absolutely. In the 50s, and they did that. Yes, absolutely.
So certain
Absolutely.
things we fell into
Absolutely.
when we were doing certain things. It's not because we wanted to do it. I became a criminal without even realizing.
You didn't even think there was something wrong.
I didn't even realize the criminal. So I didn't wake up one day like, but bing, I'm going to start to commit crime. You just gravitated to that. Through peer pressure. Like I was saying, when the young man said he's compelled to carry a knife, that is peer pressure or certain societal pressure that forces that young man into that situation. time when I couldn't leave my house without carrying a knife or a machine.
Absolutely.
Because other people are doing that. So I want to know where the disconnect between the elder Pakistanis and these young guys, when did that happen?
MashaAllah.
Why are they copying people?
MashaAllah.
Come on to the hip hop and the stupidness they're listening to.
Man.
This drill foolishness they're listening to.
Listen, bro, I'm with you. Listen, I came to England the first time and I saw Asian gangsters. And I was like, what? I could not wrap my mind around it. I'm like, Asian gangsters? What? So for young men, so real quick, because he's a product of hip hop, I'm a product of hip hop, right? We're a product of that, right? Culturally. This man asked a question about culture. So now we're giving you a cultural difference. And we're also giving you an aspect of cultural lens, right? So culturally, he's saying, I don't understand that from Pakistanis. He's saying that, what he's saying is he means that, listen, bro, I'm expecting more from you. I expect more from you. So where's the disconnect? Because he's saying when I was coming up, when I was growing up, Pakistanis didn't act that way. That's what he's saying. So now we're coming down to us guys and then those guys, right? So he's saying, what happened? What was the disconnect? Someone mentioned in the back here, Bloods and Crips. I go crazy. I'm like, the media is killing us. This is the conversation we just had. Right? Then this man, as he's speaking about Asian gangsters, which I was surprised with as well, he's saying that it's a fallacy. Don't make no sense. You listen to this hip hop music, this drill music. One second, and we're going to go deeper. Before he says his next point, young Pakistani man who loves hip hop, it's okay if the hip hop is good and gets you to the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's okay if it gets you to the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If it takes you further away from the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then it's absolutely no good. What he's saying is, the person in my culture is that you're trying to be like something you don't know about. Your parents don't dress like that. Your people don't dress like that. You look like you want to be like me. I don't even want to be like that. Why you want to be like that? What he's saying is the culture that you're imitating, we do not accept. We do not accept. So no matter how real you think you're being, or how cool you think you're being, the culture that you imitated it from, we do not accept, especially from you, because we are expecting more from you than that.
How many of you people know who is Malik Shabazz? Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz. Put your hand up if you know who this is.
Bismillah.
Who knows who is Malcolm X? See? Now, when you read the biography of Malcolm X, and you read the biography of people like Marcus Garvey, and you see what black people, African, consider African. The Europeans, when they colonized the world, they stole my people and enslaved them. And most of the lands you see black people come from in Africa, West Africa, when the slaves were taken from, they were Muslims.
Absolutely. 98% of the Muslims that came from the west of Africa in the triangular slave trade, 98% of them were Muslim. So the worst thing they did to us in slavery, it wasn't bondage and captivity. They disconnected us from the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's why we can't go back 1,000 years, 1,200 years, 1,300 years, 1,400 years. When the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he sent the Sahaba out to do da'wah, the first place they went was Abyssinia. Najashi, the king there, he established Islam in the society before Islam was established as a society in Mecca.
And he says,
Go.
don't fight the Abyssinians. Be good with them. If they fight you, then defend yourself. But never fight them. He said about Najashi, this man is a righteous man. The only thing that he don't tolerate is injustice. However, if you look today, what the European has done to all the Muslim lands, because we've been colonized and colonialized mentally. The reason why you guys are acting like you like this hip hop and stuff is disconnected you from Al-Islam. wearing your trousers around your butt, walking and popping, walking the last man's hand and don't like that. Can't walk like that. So why do you want to pick up what we throw away?
Why would you like to pick up what we threw away? Why? We threw it in the trash for a reason, because it was trash. This man he's speaking of, Malik al-Hashabaz, we say this is the greatest American imam. Because of that struggle and that sacrifice, it's easy for anyone in America to be Muslim because of that. When we became Muslims, we threw away heroin and we threw away cocaine. We married our women. We raised children and families. We stopped wearing European clothes and we put on white robes. And we became dignified by that. Why would you like to throw away your dignity and to pick up the trash? But, how old are you? Do you mind me asking? Tell me your real age. Not your fake age. Tell me your real age. 30, 40, or 55? All right. I'll take that. I'll take that. Right? He's 35, I'm 10. You got me. You ready? But this is what I want to show you all. Because one thing I've learned, like in England, is that people are more reserved here. And you don't speak out much. So when we break out in this session in a few minutes, people are going to come to me and ask me, they're going to say, listen, I didn't want to say it in the crowd, but I want to ask you, you're going to see it. So when I walk out, you see people asking me questions, that's what they're asking me. Things they didn't want to raise their hand to ask in front of everyone. So I've noticed that about being in England. You're more reserved, alhamdulillah. And black people, it seems that no matter where we are, we're ready to go, bro. Okay. It's the truth, alhamdulillah. I accept us being this way. I accept that. You have to accept being your way. Because guess what? This is the elder that I'm talking about. This is the people that I come from. And I will kill their legacy if I do not grab this rope. That's what he's saying. I don't care about your clothes, really. If you're dressing to please anything other than Allah, no matter, even if I wear this and I didn't mean to please Allah, then it's going to do bad for me. So that's the thing with clothes, period. So if you're dressing for anything other than Allah, right, and having your pants showing your trousers, this ain't for Allah. You got me, right? So the point I'm making is this. In essence, what he's saying, especially for someone like me who's 10 to his 35, if I lose my dignity in Islam and decide to pick up the trash that he threw away, I will kill everything that he worked for. And do you know what he worked for? He worked for me. He went through everything that he went through for me. So I can stand here as a Muslim and say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. That's why he went through everything he went through. So that's our cultures. It's the same thing in your culture. It's the same thing in your culture. And some contexts may be different. We have different music. We got mashallah. And you guys got the burda. You want to trade the burda for the shimmy? This is what he's saying. He's saying, we threw away that to come to the burda. You want to throw away the burda for that? We do not accept. We do not accept.
See, brother, the Pakistan and other Muslims, they have their culture.
Alhamdulillah.
To us,
We don't have a culture. We don't have a culture.
stolen,
We don't have a culture.
stolen. Our identity got stolen. Our lands got stolen. We got raped. Literally, we got raped. So now it's going to fool some people. Just fool some Africans in the diaspora, because we ain't got nothing to identify with. So when I see people who've got a culture and a history picking up the crap that we put down, I don't I can't comprehend it. So just be Muslim.
Be Muslim.
Be Muslim. Alhamdulillah.
Be Muslim.
Forget the gangster thing. Forget the hip hop thing, because it ain't you. You look fake. You look fake, and no one don't respect it. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Now, on the flip side, what I would like to say is this, because I'm 10. I'm 10. And all of the elders in the room, you're going to agree with him 100%. But I'm his son. I'm his nephew. I'm his grandson. I don't even agree with him 100%. And I'm his son. There's a generational gap there between me and him. There's a generational gap. There's a lack of understanding. He doesn't completely understand me, and I don't completely understand him. That means that me and him, we have to have a further conversation. We have to have a further conversation. He has to let me know where I really come from and connect with me in that. This is who you are and where you come from. And I have to be honest with him and say, listen, I got you, uncle or dad. This is where we at today. And it is a world apart. So everything he said is sahih, is correct, yo, straight up. But I also know that as a young man, there are so many young men in this room, you just do not agree with him. And that's okay. Trust me, I got you. I got you. Trust me, don't worry about it. I got you. That's because you're English. I got you. You don't feel like you're being fake. I got you. And for the elders to see, you agree with him, but the young men do not agree with him. That means that there has to be a conversation. There has to be a conversation that goes both ways. Listen, son, this is where we're coming from. That's trash and that's treasure. And you know kids, they like to play with the trash sometimes. And trust me, you playing with trash. That's whether you believe me or not. That I don't care about. You're playing with trash. But where I'm standing from, I can help my young men and say, no, son, for you, that's trash, and for you, that's treasure. But for you, young man, you got to go back to your father and see what is the trash and what is the treasure. And then you need to help your father understand, Baba, this is why this looks like this to me. I thought the trash was treasure because maybe the way it was wrapped. Someone gives you boo-boo in a gold package. You say, wow, it's gold. You get it, say, that's boo-boo. Someone has a bar of gold worth $100,000 and they hide it in boo-boo. You're never going to get that gold. That's boo-boo. You get it. Sometimes trash looks like treasure, and sometimes treasure looks like trash. Because success, they say, is clothed in hard work. Success, everyone wants to be successful, but then you got to work hard. And to fail, it looks like a lot of fun. To fail, to throw your life away, it looks like so much fun. While you're actually throwing your life away, while you're actually on your way to hell, it's a lot of fun, bro. A lot of smiles, a lot of laughs, a lot of high fives on the way to hell. You got me. And so have this conversation amongst yourselves. Me and him are going to exchange phone numbers. Because I got, sometimes sons don't always feel the exact same way as their fathers. Right? So I need him to help me understand some things. And because I have to go talk to more young people, I need to understand what he's saying so I can take it to other young people. But I have questions. And because he's willing to talk, I'm going to talk to him and say, well, listen, what do you say about when we feel like this? When we feel like that? When we get to the point where we feel like we have to carry knives? Okay, I get it. Maybe the first guy was a copycat. The first guy's an imposter. He was lying. He just picked up one day, so I'm going to be a criminal. Maybe that guy. But the other guy, after he got killed, I ain't trying to be no criminal. I just don't want to get killed. You got me? So there's a conversation that needs to happen. And everything that we're saying here today, even if you're not a gangster, even if you're not worrying about dying, even if that's not your life, this is relative to you still. this is relative to you still. Why? Because there is an exchange between elders and youth that have to happen if the next generation will be successful. So all of you, make that exchange, inshallah. And may Allah Ta'ala make it a beautiful conversation and a beneficial conversation. May Allah Ta'ala, Bismillah, last question. You said Hackney?
Instill an increased work ethics, you know, so just find the youngsters a bit lazy, dry, that they need to have.
Yeah. Are you a doctor?
No.
Okay. Okay. I like you, man. All day, you've been giving me commentary, man. He just blurts stuff out. Somebody asks a question, he blurts something out. I say something, he blurts something. Yeah. We call it ad-lib in rap music. He's the ad-lib. Yeah. But one second. So about instilling work ethic.
You said that as the generations go on, they get
Yeah. I think you have to make young men warriors again. I mean, we mentioned some things like sports. I think sports are the easiest way. The prophetic sports, like BJJ, jiu-jitsu. Teach young men how to fight. Don't let any more young men from your community leave this community without having a fight. I know that might sound crazy. You want to you can do it in controlled area. Like, you can do it right. Like in our masjid, we get the young boys, we lock the doors, tell all the women you have to leave. Right? You have to leave. And everyone has to fight me before they go, all the young boys. And then some of them that are good, I make them fight each other in a controlled way so they can control their aggression. But if a young man doesn't know how it feels to be defeated, why would he work hard not to be defeated? Or when he comes to a point in life where he faces adversity, if he didn't face any type of adversity, and we don't want him to be hungry, do we? Or to be on the street, so we have to use what we have. Don't let any more young men leave this community without having to wrestle with each other. Because some of these young men, the first conflict they ever get into is with a knife. Someone punch you in the face, then you go stab the man because you can't fight. So and it happens. Like where I'm from, a lot of people get killed because someone punched them in the mouth and they were scared, so they went and got a weapon. But you're asking about instilling work ethic. This is what I'm mentioning. The only way to instill work ethic is through hard work. No, they need to clean the bathrooms in the masjid. They need to clean the bathrooms in the house. Mop the floors and wipe the baseboards. That's not just for a job for a woman, for that mom. That's their job. You need to clean this whole house, everything in it. Not just once, twice a week. It's your job. You need to clean my yard, clean my car. Not just once a week, it's your job. You need to clean the masjid, the bathrooms, and the stalls. And those floor toilets that you all have. You need to clean inside of them. Be a man. And you have to, because these guys are lazy. They're only lazy because they're allowed to live without working. You never had such pleasure when you were a boy. You never had such pleasure. Not anybody's culture, right? The elders, they had to work hard, period. And like our culture, just like your culture, all the cultures, the young men are getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. A lot of screen time. You can say that and a bunch of other stuff. The point that I'm making is, you ain't gonna change the screens though. TVs ain't going nowhere, tablets ain't going nowhere, iPhones ain't going nowhere, they're only getting better. You ain't changing that. What you can change, start making them do things. Still your son, they don't want to do it, can't live here then. They don't want to do it, you can't eat my food then. They don't want to do it, okay, you don't do it, I'm not giving you any money. But if you don't do that, then they're going to go in the world and think that they deserve things. And if they think they deserve things, whenever they don't get those things, they'll run back to you. Baba, I can't. They say that word, I can't. And if I ever said that to my mother, she'd say, well, why can't you? Why can't you? So you have to put them in a position to work hard. But you know, like diamonds, it comes from pressure. That's how you get a diamond. You pressure, and boom, the diamond comes. We want these young men to be diamonds when they come to manhood. But a diamond starts a little stinky rock. That's what the boys are, little stinky rocks. Right? Pressure. Keep the pressure on. Pressure. Keep the bar high. You have to be this. You have to become that. You don't have a choice. Pressure. And from that, everyone's not going to succeed. But the ones who do, they're going to be diamonds. And you know, diamonds, everybody wants to be a diamond. Everybody wants to be a diamond. So they say, man, he became a diamond? I want to be a diamond too. They're going to love the pressure once they start to see the diamonds. But you got to keep the pressure on. Last question.
You already answered my question.
Did I? Bismillah. Okay, you had your hand raised. Last question. Okay, Bismillah. Last one.
I'd just like to make a point. I think personally, because I grew up in this, both the second generation, the
MashaAllah.
generation that I come between both of them, become 24.
MashaAllah.
So I've seen the lifestyle of both. So from my acknowledgement, the issue is not the youth of today. It's the generation come before who are not paying attention to the youth. For example, the parents, they pay attention to the secular education. They don't pay attention to the madrasa. They won't bring their children to the masajid. They won't take them to prayer. They're keeping the children away from the masajid. They're not giving them the proper Islamic education, which will give the children proper morals. Until they get no proper morals, then they will end up on the streets. They're going to end up in lives. So it's very important that we work as a community and we unite and bring our children to the masajids, give them that proper education so they have that, so they have the morals. So us, we can go back to that first generation. Our new generation can be that first generation that came, they worked hard, they built these masajids, and we can go.
The problem is they work too hard. This is the thing. They work so hard that they didn't apply that time that we required as children. And this was the biggest problem because we didn't have that. It was difficult for us floating around, just trying to work out what's going on. So we got involved with everything. And then, alhamdulillah, realized that it's all wrong, that that's all the rubbish. And alhamdulillah, we're in the mosque.
MashaAllah. So I want to just bridge something between what they said quickly. He's saying that the issue is not the youth. The issue is how the youth were raised. I agree 100%. The parents are saying, listen, our parents, when they came here, they didn't have anything. And so they spent all their time working. Because they worked, we didn't have any guidance, so we just got into everything. He's saying as we grew older, we found out that that's rubbish. So now we're here, alhamdulillah, right? What the conversation will allow is for that gap to be bridged. Because now you have that generation, his generation, but there is a whole generation that's going to come from these two. So if it's our parents' fault, if it's our children's fault, whoever's fault it is, we have to figure out where is the missing link. So that way we don't miss the next generation. And if you ask me, nah, man, alhamdulillah, things are all good for the believer. My mom worked a lot too, so we went to the streets. I got older, we went through bad things, and then Allah guided us. Because you have to remember, at the flip side of everything is that nothing will happen unless Allah wills. No one can be guided unless Allah guides them, and no one can be led astray unless Allah leads you astray. That's period. I don't care. Your father can be the imam, you can be a criminal. Your father can be a criminal, you can be the imam. You've seen it all in your culture, we've seen it all in our cultures. Father's a great man, son's a weak man. Father's a weak man, son's a great man. It happens all the time because Allah decides who is guided. So underlining everything that we talked about, anyone who's going down the wrong path, you need to ask yourself, why is Allah taking me astray? What did I do? What am I doing that Allah is allowing me to go down a bad path? What am I doing? What this, man, and it seems like a nice dance when you're dancing with the devil, bro, yeah. Like, man, this seems beautiful and nice and like that, yeah. And you go right to hell with him. And anyone who is guided rightly, you need to ask yourself, why would Allah Ta'ala guide me aright? And what responsibility do I have because he guided me the right way? And you have to mix that. Because the habit of the Muslims is to make what is good better and to make what is bad good. That was the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Of all the sunnahs, he made anything bad good and he made anything good better. He made anything that was better its best. That's the job. That's the job, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nare Takbir. Nare Risale.
Ya Rasulullah.
Nare Hadri.
Ya Allah.
Yeah, you like that?
Exactly. I'd like to thank Brother Ibn Ali Miller. MashaAllah, it was very informative and very comprehensive discussion we had tonight. And hopefully we will try to implement some of these changes in our lives. There's no point coming to the masjid and just having it was lovely, we had this brother, we had this talk, and MashaAllah, it was all good. There's nothing to that. So what we want to do is we want to have this intention, we want to make these changes in our lives, and we want to make positive changes in our lives. And especially with the youngsters, please make sure that you keep the adab in your life. Respect your elders and respect your teachers. And Imam Sahib, he had to leave because he had been in the masjid for a long time. And he mentioned as well, we didn't get to his comment, which was that the youngsters who come to the masjid, they don't respect the holy book, and then they don't respect the teachers. So we need to make these changes. These are your children. Yeah? So some of you have children and some of you don't have children, and we need to implement these changes. And Jazakallah to the brother. Inshallah, if everybody stands up, we finish with the burda, inshallah.
Let's go. I want to say
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم جزاك الله
إلى هجرة النبي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم فاتحة.
Amen. Jazakallah. I've just found something in the masjid, so if somebody's lost something, please.